Hello and welcome back to the Find Your Feet podcast, a podcast show dedicated to helping you get closer to your true, authentic self by helping you find your feet in life. Welcome to episode 84.
Today we're talking all about embodiment and working with the body, because this is something we've really dived into lately, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's become a huge part of our life, so we just want to share it all with you guys.
Yeah, embodiment and literally connecting back to your body, tapping into the wisdom within your body and manifesting with your body and healing with your body and everything with the body. It's just amazing, and it's been a big part of what we've been doing on our own personal growth journeys, spiritual growth journeys in the last 6 months, I'd say. So we're excited to talk about it, and with an exciting announcement at the end of this episode.
Yes, very exciting. I can't wait.
So stay tuned for that. But before we begin the episode, we just have a quick word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. So BetterHelp are a professional, secure online counselling service, and they will set you up with a therapist in under 48 hours of you signing up to their website.
Yes, BetterHelp are an incredible company. That's why we're very proud to be partnered with them. And as they are such a huge company, they are global. So they have a huge range of expertise. So whatever you feel like you need the support for, they can provide that for you. And then even if you are matched with a therapist and originally you think, I'm not really vibing with this therapist, you want something different, you want something new, you can change until you're happy with your therapist, which is something I really feel like you don't get offered in many therapy forms. So it's a really good option to go for.
Yeah, because it's so important that you vibe with your therapist. But what I love about BetterHelp is that it's all done online, so you don't have to go anywhere to access their services. You can get the really high quality professional support from a licensed counsellor from the comfort of your own home. You don't even need a computer. You can just do it on the app on your phone. And whatever country you're listening to this podcast in, because we know you guys are all over the place. We've got people in Canada, Germany, Poland, what's that, Estonia?
Yeah, so many random places, but amazing places.
Amazing, yeah. America, Barbados, you're everywhere. Anyway, you can all access BetterHelp, which is so amazing. And however you feel comfortable to communicate with your therapist, because some people are happy to do video calls or phone calls, but some people only feel comfortable to just do typing. So you can type in a chat box, or you can just do it through emails. Whatever you feel comfortable with, they'll work around you.
And BetterHelp are way more affordable than your traditional offline counselling. And not only that, they are kindly offering our listeners 10% off your first month of therapy. So if you do want to access a discount, you can head to betterhelp.com/findyourfeet. That is betterhelp.com/findyourfeet.
Yes, head to the link. We've left it in the show notes. Click through there and the discount is automatically applied to your account. You just fill out a questionnaire, which will take you about 5 minutes, just so you can get a picture about who you are and what your needs, and they can match you with the perfect therapist. And then you can go on your therapy journey. But we are big advocates for therapy. We've both done it multiple times, and it's been such a game changer for us on our personal growth journeys and managing through difficult times. And we just love therapy. So if you are ready to go and you don't know where to go, BetterHelp is the perfect place.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey you will not regret. And if you do have any questions at all, we're very happy to answer any over on Instagram at Find Your Feet Podcast.
But before we jump into the chat today, we're just going to read our Apple Podcast review of the week, because we keep missing them. We've not done it for a few episodes. So we've got a really nice review here from Dr. Bryna Christmas. She says, I literally feel like I have two best friends. I've been doing the inner work, becoming conscious and learning about living in the present for a while now. And these episodes always make me feel like I have two other friends helping me out. I named my ego, so the episode with Mo was brilliant. I love the individual brain dumps and how you approach the ego, becoming conscious in a non-airy-fairy way. Thank you for all the resources, podcast recommendations, and for talking about these topics. Yes to all the compassion, understanding yourself and others better. I literally want to spread the word about all this and help others too. It's so good that you are both doing this as well.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And I actually love it when people say they feel like they have two best friends, because I feel like they're all our friends.
Yeah, I actually feel like the finders are our mates.
Yeah, and we're all just rising together. It's beautiful.
It is amazing. Thank you so much for leaving that review. It's very, very kind of you. But let's jump into the show.
So the reason why I think working with embodiment and getting into your body and body-based healing is an absolute game changer is because I honestly feel like as we're growing up, we are taught, well, I definitely used to this anyway, that we have our body and our mind in our head, and then we have our physical body, and they're just separate.
Yeah,
and they're like
your brain and your mind.
Yeah, sorry.
Your body and your mind in your head.
I have a body and mind in my head. You have a brain in your mind, like in your head, and then your physical body, and it's separate
things.
Yeah, and it's not connected. And like something that's going on in your mind, something that makes you sad, doesn't have an instant reaction within your body.
Yeah, no, I think it's, and that's part of the big problem, I think, with how we approach mental health as well, because you, like, even on a level of like your gut and your brain are so connected, you can have gut issues that are actually making you have mental health problems because it creates an imbalance in your brain and all stuff like that. Like they're linked, and then like that is it, literally at a scientific baseline of how linked they are, that if you cured your gut problems, that can sometimes cure your mental health problems if that's what's causing it. You know, some people have mental health problems and they don't know why. There's nothing wrong with it in their life. They can't put the finger on it, and it can be a manifestation in the mind from a physical health problem.
Yeah.
And like the gut and the brain are connected. I want to get someone on the podcast who's an expert to talk about this. So
yeah,
I'm trying to get somebody on to do that. But that is just such a clear example of how connected they are. But they literally are like, and then on the spiritual level, they're very connected, which is what we'll talk about more, which is what we've been experiencing, like through dancing, through breath work, all the wisdom in the body, all the knowledge and the intuition in the body, and all the trauma and memories that are stored in the body that come up like when you're doing somatic healing exercises. And somatic healing means body-based healing, and body-based healing is literally like meditation is for the mind, but breath work is for the mind and the body.
Yeah, it's like
dancing
regulation.
For the body, yoga is for the body. All things like that are somatic healing modalities. If you've never heard of that term, folks, some people won't have heard of that. Somatic.
No, not at all. Yeah, exactly. I heard a fact the other day and I thought it was so interesting. It's like 90% of our serotonin, which is the happy hormone, is produced in your gut. So if your gut is out of whack,
exactly,
that's
the mental health thing. Yeah,
and that's true. I think that's why people can get frustrated as well when they're like, I'm doing everything right, everything's good in my life, but I've got this little gut problem, and then that's affecting their mind more than they believe. But I think the more we're fed this idea that it's a disconnect, and I feel like we are fed that idea, the more people are like getting frustrated and confused. And like the idea of somatic healing, I didn't even hear that. I mean, I probably only heard that about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, what a game changer. Like, I'm so excited to actually go on this journey and heal my body. Do you know what they say? Like, you hold trauma and memories in your body.
Yeah. And there's that book that we both want to read, Body Keeps the Score, that everyone always recommends to learn more about stuff like this. But what's like crazy is like, you know, like the experiences you've had when we've been doing the dance course with Farah. If you all didn't listen to the episode, Awaken the Goddess Within through Sensual Dance with Farah Rising. I can't remember what number it was now, but basically, yes, she's a sensual dance teacher and we are doing her dance course. And through that, like, you've been dancing and having random memories from the past of
like it brings stuff up.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing I've ever experienced. I would say, like, well, I said that in the episode, it's just as beneficial as sitting down and having talking therapy. And there's no words spoken. You're literally tuning into your body. It's like you're letting your body speak to you.
Yeah.
And your body brings up memories. And it's like anybody can do that. You don't even need to be on a spiritual journey. It's like just stopping and connecting with your body, which I think we rarely do, is so powerful.
Yeah. And I think, like, how many of us, especially women, like, hate their bodies and have like body image issues, obviously, because of like all the imagery we're shown when we're growing up, and like the pressure that we feel to look a certain way. And it can be very hard for people to actually love how they look. Like, a lot of people have a very hatred relationship with their body. And when all this like somatic healing, because you're like strengthening the relationship with your body, and from that comes more love for your body and an improved body image. Even like as in how you feel about yourself, your body, even though your body hasn't physically changed, you feel it's like an energetic shift happens, because you are having a deeper relationship with it. So it's not fighting back against you and you're not fighting back against it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I really had this experience as well when because for so long I've always exercised, but I was always trying to find the exercise that was for me, the one that I love. And I would go to the gym, tried all the weight stuff, not into it. Did gym classes and all, like just random classes. Did dancing actually at this gym, and that was fun. I loved that.
Yeah, that's so fun.
But yeah, and then tried like all the hair, all that Courtney Black stuff that she does, and I enjoyed them, but it didn't feel my thing. And then I discovered Melissa Wood Health, who also trying to get her on the pod. When I get her on the podcast,
Yeah, she's
I'm
coming
retiring because then my work is done. But she is like her method is all about like just a really mindful workout. So when you're doing these workouts, they're really challenging, and like the muscular definition that I've formed from it is crazy. To say I just work out like 20 minutes a day and that's it, but because it's short, and it's soft on the body, it's challenging, but it's gentle, it's low impact, it's very gentle. And when you're doing it, it's slow movements, slow concentrated movements. You're really connecting body and mind at the same time, and it doesn't leave you feeling like jangled and stressed after. I would always feel stressed after HIIT and stuff like that. Like I feel calm after this, even though I have done like a strong workout. I'm getting better results now than I did back then, because I'm not stressing my body out either. And like it's like and from that, and yeah, I know I've just said that I like have got muscle definition that I've not had before, but I generally like my body, how I perceive my body has improved because I've created a deeper relationship with it, in a more loving relationship. The way that I'm not saying that HIIT or anything's bad, because other people love that and that works.
Yeah,
them.
I think it's how it works.
That didn't work for me. Yeah, so I found what worked for me, and then from that, because my body obviously enjoys it, it worked. That's how that kind of movement works really, really well for me. So I've created this like deeper connection with my body, which has then made me have a more loving relationship to my body. Like I feel more in harmony with it, more in tune, which has made me have better body image, even though my body physically hasn't really changed that much. It's not like I've gone and like dropped 10 stone or something. Like I look pretty much the same, but it's like this, it's hard to explain because it's not tangible, but this is what it is. Like this, developing that deeper relationship with your body creates more self-love, like, and not from like, oh, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to love myself, but as in it's a byproduct of just trying to be friends with your body. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely.
Like paying attention to it, like it loves it when you pay attention to it.
Yeah, it loves when you like work with it.
Yeah.
No, it's so true, because that's exactly it. Like when in society we're fed so many narratives, and so many women hate their bodies, even if they don't think they do. And when you hold that shame within your body, like I feel like it's one of the worst things you can do. So actually working with your body, like you said, like Pilates, yoga, is so powerful. Like the breakthroughs that you can have, like they go like beyond like talking out gym and everything.
Yeah.
I've had like so many experiences where I've done like yoga, and then like, like when you're meditating and you have that moment and you like suddenly like the stress worry just releases and you think, wow, I was worried about that.
Yeah.
I've done that so many times in yoga, and I need to do it more now at the minute, but I used to do it quite a lot. And yeah, I've had so many of those breakthrough moments, and you think, where did that even come from? And it's actually from like connecting with your body and listening to your body, and like, what does your body want? Like you said, you felt like you didn't have a good reaction from that HIIT. I remember I was confused when you said that, because you personally don't have that reaction. Yeah. Obviously everyone's really different, but I think incorporating, like anyone in the world I think should incorporate yoga, Pilates, like even if it's just like 10 minutes a day, because it's like another form of meditation, and it's like saying, I'm going to pause now and I'm actually going to listen to my body, instead of just running around and thinking, what can I do to do this, putting more stress on your body, like actually pausing and listening.
It's like it's calms your nervous system as well, which is obviously a big part of what breath work does, is working with the nervous system to regulate your nervous system. And like for me, that's kind of what Pilates and stuff does as well, because it is that calming. I'm still really working my muscles, but it's calm. I'm not stressed. Whereas after I'd do HIIT and stuff, my nervous system didn't like that. I'd feel adrenaline all over me, like I felt stress. And then because at that point when I was doing that, I had a quite a stressful, intense job. That plus that just didn't work for me, and just actually just made me like bleh, like
more cortisol.
Cortisol all over the place. But a big part of what embodiment is, and like this body-based healing and tapping into the wisdom in the body, is that regulation of your nervous system. Because when we're just in day-to-day life, like because we do breath work like every day now and have done for months, our nervous system is in a much better place than it was a few months ago. Like we're in a much calmer, relaxed state as our like baseline. Like when you're going through life and you just living life, you know, you're not doing anything crazy, you're just going to work, you're being a mum, you're being a this, that, you're doing all the things that you do as a human, managing all the stuff, juggling everything. Your nervous system most of the time is in a stressful state, and you live in that. So then your body is like trying to regulate itself, but it's hard because it's reacting to things all the time. And like your nervous system when it's like that, it's really hard for it to build up like resilient stress responses. Instead, it's just in like a chronic stress response. But it can be on a small scale, so you don't, and because you've never felt anything different, you don't know that you can actually feel better. So when you start to engage in these like body-based exercises of breath work, of sensual dance, of yoga, of Pilates, of all these things, you start to experience a feeling within yourself that you didn't have before, because you weren't aware in yourself that it was possible to feel that good, feel that much better. So because we do breathwork all the time, we are now like trained on, we've given it's every time we do it, you give your body an opportunity to regulate itself and to go back to the baseline of like calmness and like balance within your body. That's what it is. That's what it's bringing you back to that state of balance, which is, that's when everything's okay. When you're out of balance, like you're like, and that's what breath work. We give ourselves an opportunity every day for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long we do it, for our bodies to just go back to balance. Then if you're doing that all the time, your nervous system eventually gets so regulated that you build up resilient stress responses. So now when we get stressed, the body response we will have will be to stress will be on a much smaller scale than what it would have been before, when you're always in that chronic stress response without even being aware. Because you can't say, okay, mind, this situation is stressful, so let's create a stress response. Like it's all unconscious, it's all done for you. But the way that you can start to control it more and balance it more and feel better is through doing things like breathwork, giving yourself a chance to regulate your body. So then you have like that emotional resilience, like with life, because you can train your body to do that through the power of your breath.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they say like, so when you're in that sympathetic nervous system, you're like living in survival and your energy is drained because you're always in survival. Like you said, like you get stressed and you're kind of like on this loop. And as well, I was reading in my book that like when you're living in survival, obviously you're not living in creation.
Yes.
You can't create like more happiness and like create more peace because you're constantly living in survival. So you have to use breathwork, stuff like that, to get back into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is just so great. And as well, when you're living in survival, that's what like causes illness and disease, because literally your energy is drained by trying to fight the survival, which we're so easily putting through like the fight and flight. And as well, I mean, we've talked about this many times on podcasts, but as well, because we're not very well adapted to this world, silly things like social media and stuff can put you into fight and flight. And then that's like literally knocking off your nervous system. But coming back to stuff like breath work is the most powerful thing. And you actually said something to me, and then I just kept thinking about it afterwards, because like I had this situation, or I won't really go into it, but I actually spoke about it on the podcast, with that date situation.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then I was saying to you like, oh, it was really weird. Like, I don't know, I just felt different, like in my body. And you were like, But because we've been doing so much breath work, we're way more in our bodies now, and like your body's speaking to you.
Yes.
And I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like the more you get into your body and give your body the chance to speak to you,
Yes.
the more it does.
Yeah.
And everything shifts. Like you actually don't like experience things the same. Like you get bodily reactions to things. Like it's not so much you have to think in logical mind, like, is this a good idea? Is that a bad idea? What do I think of that person? It's more like you can literally ask your body.
Yeah. And this is the thing, like your body holds a lot of wisdom, and people don't think it does, because it's like, but it's a physical body, so it can't talk to me. Like, but my brain talks to me and chat shit all day long. So you don't ever, and because we are raised to think that they're separate, the mind and the body are separate, you then just don't ever get yourself to that point where you can listen to the answers from within your body, like your body speak to you, tell you what it wants, tell you what to do. And it is really amazing, and especially it is really interesting when it comes to dating and stuff, to tap into your body in that way, to see the responses that you're having, and then you'll know what to do. Because I think you can get in your head a lot, and what this, she's called Hello Jenny Keane on Instagram, and she's like basically like a tantric sex expert or something like that. Like she's just basically giving sex education that nobody got at school and all this stuff. But she was basically talking about this thing on Instagram. Someone asked her a question, like about basically, like it was a question box in the stories, and it said like, should you she was like, what thoughts on like sleeping with someone on a first date kind of thing. And she was saying like, we digest these sexual scripts that you digest them through how you're raised, what you watched on TV, your environment, what other people around you are doing, basically so it's a sexual script, it's what you think you should happen, how you should behave. And there's a lot of sort of like shame and thinking in it, when sex is like a body, obviously there's a lot of emotional mind stuff involved too, but it's a body-based experience. It's you're playing with your body, and it's creating bodily responses. It's not, and obviously your mind is obviously part of it, but it's very much your body's very obviously involved in that experience. And she was basically saying that, go on a first date, the only reason you're thinking that you shouldn't sleep with them or whatever is because you've digested sexual scripts telling you that you shouldn't do that and blah 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 blah. And she was like, you should just listen to your body. If you have a bodily response that you are, whatever, turned on by that person, or you're like, yeah, you feel like you want to do it, then go for it. And your body will tell you. If you don't, your body will tell you. You'll feel like you'll just know your body will not be open to it, and you'll feel funny. And when that's why it's really good when you can. And then you can make empowering choices, honoring yourself, like honoring your body and honoring how what it wants to do. And that's why I love once we had Amy Rushworth on the show, just absolute legend of a woman. And she was talking to us all about like how we have the wisdom in our womb space, and like there's like another consciousness down there. It's like there's another brain, and like as women we can tap into that. And she was saying about like loads of her clients start to make their decisions based on what their like yonis tell them to do, and that's because they've done work to develop that deeper connection. Because it is possible to tap into that body-based wisdom and get answers from within and make your choices from that. And if you ever see as well, like there's this like quote that always circulates on Instagram, and obviously you can't get all your source of news from Instagram, but it says like the right person will feel right on your nervous system, as in like people you're dating and stuff. If you feel really like jangled and funny and like on edge and that's when people, obviously you get a bit nervous when you're first going out and all that, so it's a bit confusing. But it's saying that generally like people will feel, your nervous system will feel at ease around that person. Your body,
I'm more excited, as opposed to like
like absolutely
cacking yourself.
Literally really scared. So and there's no tangible evidence for you to, well, there probably is if you go and search for it, but this is why people like disregard it and stuff and don't even consider it, because nobody's going, oh yes, so if your body does XYZ, it means that you should do this and this and this. Like only you know it, because you're the one tapping into your body, so you're going to get your unique messages from your body. And that and people don't even really get to that point of that, because they just assume the mind, the body, and disconnect it, when actually there's not. There's a lot of knowledge and wisdom within you, and you can, and when you do it as well, when you get to that point where you are listening to your body, making choices from your body, that's like intuition as well. Like your intuition is it gives you a response within your body. When the more you listen to it, the more you strengthen that relationship with it. It's all the same. The more you do it, the more you feel empowered, the more you feel in tune with yourself. You feel like you've found yourself more. You feel like you've got a deeper relationship with yourself. You feel like you've got more self-love. You feel like you're your best friend. You feel like you've got your own back, if that makes sense. Because the way we're like disconnected from the mind and the body, and there's so many people taught to hate their body, that is just in a constant state of self-hate and self-rejection. Like that's not good. And when you do all these things, you heal that, and you stop, and it really makes you feel more powerful and empowered and confident, because your mind is listening to your body is listening to your mind. You're all connected, and then there's you, who's the observer, who's like watching it all going on. Like there's all that, you start to integrate all the parts of you into one, and you just feel amazing.
Literally. As well, like what you were saying about the whole like sex and like sleeping with people on the first date and stuff. And Estelle, as you all know Estelle now, we were actually talking about this just like in general, and she was saying like it's that idea of like in your head you can be thinking, I'm going to have sex with this person, it's all fine, it's all good. So your head's like online, but your body's not online.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the more you are like disconnected from your body, you won't realize this. And like I will openly admit, I've had sex with people where my body has not been online. And I think the more you kind of do that, that's how, not like certainly, but like that's how you can get like trapped trauma in your body and like trapped sexual traumas in your different chakras. But that's why it's literally so important, because the more you do tune into your body, the more you're going to realize when your body is offline, and the more you're going to,
and then you can make your choices saying, okay, no, this isn't right. Like,
and then that's where that like leads to like those deeper levels of pleasure. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I know so many girls will be listening to this, because also we do have a lot of women in our audience. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking now like you're one of those women that struggle with pleasure, or you struggle with connection with sex, it's not that like you're with the wrong person or something like that. It might just be that like you're not actually connected into your body, and your body might be offline. You actually might need to just actually connect with your body before you like go into sex and everything like that. Like it's a whole ball game. But that's why I think working with embodiment, getting into your body, especially things like breathwork, like breathwork is so connected to sex and stuff, with like Tantra, that is just a game changer. It's going to improve your life so much.
And what you were saying about so many women feel disconnected to their pleasure and all that stuff, like it's not an uncommon problem, like it's so common. And what's really empowering is that you don't need anyone to reconnect that. You do it yourself, then you bring that to the situation with somebody else, with a partner or whatever. Because I think some people feel disconnected from it and then just assume that the only way to ignite it or to find it is with somebody else. But this is what is so amazing about it, and why it makes you feel so empowered and stuff, is because it's all in your hands. You are the only one who can switch that sensual energy back on and tap back into it. And the reason why it'll be blocked can be from so many different things: past experiences, societal conditioning, the environment you were raised in, how openly it was spoken about in your house, all the stuff like this. All links in, like how you feel about your body image really shuts you. If you hate your body, you're not going to feel sexy, are you?
Even if you convince yourself you are, it's how you feel in your body.
So it's all about deepening that relationship back with your body, and then it switches that sensual energy back on. And you're the only one that can get yourself there, and that's the most amazing thing about it, is that it's your journey and it's entirely in your hands, and for you to navigate your way through, and start off by tapping into your intuition. Your intuition will lead you to where you need to go, what you need to do, what tools you need, what people you need to listen to, what things you need to try, breathwork, all these things that is going to help you get that deeper relationship with your body, that is going to heal that sensual energy, because we're meant to have sensual energy. It's the same as how you have hunger for food and you desire to make money and a desire to have purpose, and you want human connection with friends and relationships. You want to show love to people, all stuff like this. It's all humanness, like, and so your sensual energy is exactly the same. You're supposed to have it. It's supposed to be activated. And I don't say that with shame and judgment, that if anybody right now listening feels like they don't have that, that then, oh, well, I should have that, so I don't know, I'm effed. No, you find like it happens to so many people. We're all on our journey, everything's perfect, and you unfold as you're meant to. And like, always honor yourself with that. Like, don't just always just, your journey is so perfect, and however you feel is how you're meant to feel at the time, and it all unfolds as it's meant to. But your sensual energy is part of you that should, if you're meant to be connected into it. It's part of your like emotional health, your confidence, everything. Because we spoke about this with Amy, like how much sensual energy is linked to creativity and money, because that chakra is all that, like that creativeness, that. And when you start to maybe heal your relationship with money or something, you might, as a byproduct, heal your relationship with your sensuality, or if you heal your relationship with your sensuality as a byproduct, you make more money, or you are more creative and things like that. So it's all linked, and you know.
Yeah, I like what you said there as well. Oh, what?
Such a fab.
What you said there as well about how like it's all perfect where you are in your journey, because I feel like one thing with body-based healing is you can go completely at your own pace. And that's why I really, really like working with Farah as well, because now she's like so gentle. She lets you take it at your own pace. And like dancing, I think that's probably been one of the most powerful things, 100%, because what I really, really like about dancing and actually just being within your body is it's different to like journaling and different to like talking therapy and stuff like that, because I feel like you're trying to logically think through things, which is absolutely fine. Like, we're all just like doing our stuff. We're trying to work out why we do this, which is really, really good and really important for your self-development. But when you're dancing and in your body and there's like memories coming up or shame coming up stuff, you can't run from it. Like, you have to sit there like you're in a dance. You can't just sit there and switch off. Like, you're in a dance and you dance with it. Like, if you guys have listened to the episode with Farah, she was saying, make all the uncomfortable things or the shame or any trauma, make that your dance partner. Like, that is so powerful, because you're not running anymore. You're literally dancing with the dance partner, like what you want to run from, but you're making peace with it. You're saying like, oh, it's okay, I can actually dance with it and I can work through it. And that's how you like release the energy and release the trauma.
It's I love that thing that she said about making your dance partner.
I think of it all the time now.
and how much she really emphasizes, and we won't go too much into it now because we are going to do an episode at the end of the dance course all about our journey with sensual dance. You can learn more
talk about the memories, because I think it's so interesting. Everything that's happened.
But I love how much when she's guiding us through this program is how much she's like, however you feel today, however you're showing up is so perfect. It's so divine. It's so worthy. It's so enough. It's so okay. Like, so if you are showing up to the dance course, you're not going to feel like, and as well, people get confused because it's called sensual dance. They think you're like twerking and like fucking running around a pole with heels on. That's naturally not what it is. Like, if you want to twerk, your body will start to twerk. But it's not just about that. Sometimes it's very gentle and it's not a routine. It's all shutting your eyes and everything. I think people get confused and think that we're like on Zoom, like following a Pussycat Dolls dance routine or something. It's not what it is.
Even though that would be fun.
That would be fun. Like that. That's not what this is. But how much she says, like, however you feel is so okay. Like, so you might show up one week and you feel exhausted and you feel really vulnerable and like sensitive and tired and just not okay, but you'll dance with that emotion anyway. And it's and like welcome it, and that's that thing of that building that self-love and really integrating self-love, not just thinking mantras of I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Really showing yourself that you love yourself by accepting yourself exactly as you are and doing things that honor yourself like in whatever state you're showing up in, with zero judgment, and just knowing that you are so perfect in all your forms and all your waves, all your ups and downs, all of that stuff, and your body and your mind always up and down, up and down, up and down. Like no person ever feels bloody fabulous every day. Like you feel, it doesn't mean, like for us, like we're happy people, we're happy every day, but I mean, we're not gonna like jump around like screaming out the window, I love you world, every single day. Just sometimes you feel like that, yeah. But sometimes you feel tired and you feel that, and that's fine. Doesn't mean you're unhappy, doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It just means you honor where you are, and that's really what like body-based healing has lets you do as well, is because you're getting out of your mind and you get into your body and you're just integrating everything, and it's just bloody amazing. It shifts your vibration as well, like all of this stuff like breath work and dancing and all these things, because you're moving the energy out of your body, you're releasing trapped emotions and trapped trauma in your body. Like I think we've mentioned this before on the podcast, but like when you are like a deer, they're really like on edge all the time because they know they get hunted and stuff, and they're always like frolicking around, like, you know. Anyway, so if they like run into a car, the car stops, like deer in the headlights thing, they get like freaked out, then they run off, so run away from the car, then they go into the woods or wherever, and they find a place where they feel safe, where no one's gonna, and then they sit there and they shake like crazy, and they release all the energy from the adrenaline of thinking they were gonna get hit by a car out of them. Humans don't do that. So we will go through a traumatic experience, and let's just say traumatic doesn't mean that you were literally in a tsunami or something. Like trauma doesn't need to just be like these really hard thing. Well, hard, I'm saying with commas, because nobody's pain is greater or less. If you feel pain, you feel pain, and that's it. But people always assume like trauma trapped in the body, oh well, I must have needed, like if I'm going to have that, then I must have needed to have been through something really bad, like a war or something like that, when actually it's like trauma could get trapped in your body from you as a child, like your mum being late to pick you up from school, and then you thinking she's not coming to pick you up or something, and then you start to think you've been left and abandoned or whatever. You'll trap that trauma within you, and that's what all this body-based stuff like releases that. So it really shifts your vibration, your energy, and raises that, because it's like clearing things out of you. Clearing, like releasing these things out of you. And like this, the deer goes to the woods and shakes. You as a kid don't go off in when you get home and start shaking like and releasing the energy of the fear that you had, thinking that your mum wasn't going to show up and stuff like that. Like, but humans, we just crack on with our lives, and we half the time don't even acknowledge the fact that we've been through something upsetting, and we just move on. And then that's what I mean, that like that book of that body keeps a score. The body keeps a score of it. It traps it within you, and it sounds scary, like traps all this stuff in you. It's not. It's you, because you can release it. But that's why regularly doing breathwork and things like that are really good, because you're always giving yourself an opportunity as well to like release these things, because they hold you back, and like you feel lighter, you feel better, your energy's different, you glow different, because you've literally dumped all this heavy stuff out of you.
Yeah, exactly. And then you save room for more beautiful things. And it's so true as well. Like no one can say like that's trauma or that's not trauma, like to somebody else. Like it's just totally how you feel about it. Because I think it comes down to whether you've had that like heightened emotion or elevated emotion.
Yeah.
And that causes trauma. Like the amount of memories that, like, we won't go into it now, but like over since we've been doing this like somatic healing, the amount of random memories I've had from experience you would never put down as trauma. And it's like, I think actually why people get confused is because the actual word trauma is quite like triggering, like trauma. But it's like it's not like horrific. It's just like something like some old memories that I'd remember. And that's like trapped in my body, and I remember it. I'm like, oh, that's like trauma. But like somebody else, it might not be trauma, but it was still that elevated emotion, and it still stayed within me. Otherwise, you wouldn't remember it. Because I like when I'm like 6 years old, it's like I didn't remember the day before that, so I've always remembered that day because that happened, and that stayed within the body. And once you go on that journey, it's like you are honoring yourself, because a lot of people won't do that, which is fine if you don't want to. But if you're honoring yourself and going on that journey and remembering those memories and then releasing them, as I just said, you're saving room for so many more beautiful things to come into your life. And that is just, that's what self-love.
That's what you want. Embodiment and all that stuff is so self-loving. And also when it comes to like manifesting like embodying what you want to manifest is so powerful.
For sure. I feel like it's something we've been working with a lot recently. Because I feel like years ago, I wouldn't have even understood what that meant.
No, because you get logical about your manifesting. You're like, I'll write down, I'll do this. When actually it's like, feel what you want in your body, embody it, like act as if it's here, like breathe it in, like, and that is so powerful.
Yeah, because it makes sense.
Things in. Yeah.
If you're going around not embodying what you want to manifest, then you're going to be acting like you don't have the thing, and then you're not going to draw it in because you're acting in a different frequency. Like it just makes sense to embody the manifestation. I think it's a hard one to get your head around as well, because I feel like you have to drop your ego, definitely, because you're like, okay, I'm actually going to embody the future me.
Yeah.
But as I said, that will draw it in quicker.
Yeah. And like you can do all of this easily when you're like tapping into your body regularly through breath work, through dancing, through yoga. And you don't need to like, you know, and we're talking about dancing stuff, you don't need to go and get a dance teacher or something. You can just put on a song that you love. We've got our Spotify playlist, guys. The Goddess Finders. It's called Goddess Finders. Yeah, I think it is. Spotify playlist with like over 100 songs on there of like just absolute vibes.
Yeah.
Sexy dancing, also just good vibes, just all that stuff. Go and put on like your favorite song and just shut your eyes and just let your body move you. And like you don't need to like go to a dance class to figure that out. Like you can take 3 minutes of your time, just do it to one song and like stuff like that, and just see what your body wants to tell you, like stirring that energy between your hips, especially as a woman. It's like we hold so much powerful energy in between our hips. That's where our like womb space is. That's where we make babies. That's where we create humans that come into the world. Hello, what other like gender can do that other than women? Pretty bloody amazing. And that is powerful. Like that's incredible. And we hold all that powerful energy within us. And like when you're dancing and things like that, you're moving that energy around, you're activating it. So if you just close your eyes and put on your favorite song, just let your hips move, just let them guide you. It just like releases the energy within you. It just helps you embody the amazingness. You just need to go and do it, guys. Embodiment.
And that is why for our next webinar, we are bringing to you the self-belief embodied experience. I mean, just the title gets me going. Obviously, we are so invested in this embodiment and this somatic healing, and it's just the most beautiful journey. And that's why we've taken this little break from the webinars, because we wanted to bring to you what we are so passionate about and what we're working through. Because that's what we always say, don't we? We're finding our feet with you guys. We're all in this together. So we've put together the most incredible workshop for you guys.
We have. The self-belief, the embodied experience is coming to you on Thursday, the 29th of July, 2021 at 7 p.m. GMT, so UK time, for 2 hours. So it'll run from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. on Zoom. And it's going to be a beautiful evening. There's going to be all the embodiment practices we spoke about, so there will be a little bit of dancing. But don't get scared. Like no one's going to see you dancing. It's not a big part of the night. It's like a small part of the evening, just to relax you into the night and like raise your vibe and show you the power. Like just get you, just plant that little seed in you to give you that, like everything we talk about today. You might be thinking, oh my god, all this embodiment stuff sounds amazing, I don't know where to start. This is where you start. Like come to the webinar and then you will be it'll start your journey. So there'll be a little bit of dancing, not loads, no cameras will be on, nobody can see you, so do not worry. I know that sometimes people can get like, oh my god, like freaked out about stuff like that. Please don't, like no one's going to see you, it's all private. And there'll just be a small part of that, and it's not gonna be like we're gonna make you do a dance routine. It's literally gonna be short, like close your eyes, we're gonna put on some songs and just drop in.
Yeah, it will shift your energy more than you would ever imagine.
Yeah. The same way that we like to meditate.
The dance now.
Yeah, no, I feel like we've been moving like woo. If you're not watching, if you're just listening on audio, we're like dancing our seats right now, like shaking the hips, moving side to side. Yes, there'll be a bit of dancing, but then and obviously we're going to cover off self-belief. So we'll be doing the usual thing where we give you tips, tools, knowledge, and just a chance to really start to embody self-belief. So improving your confidence, improving that self-belief that you can have what you want in life. You can manifest what you want. You can make things happen. You can go after your dreams. You can love your body. You can believe in yourself, everything. It's that self-belief and that self-love. We're really going to inject all of that into you. And then our favorite bit, and we're so excited about this, the final part of the workshop, Breathe with James, is coming to lead a breathwork session for manifestation for you guys. So you will really get to experience breathwork from the best in the game. And I don't say that lightly. He actually is. The level of detail he puts into his work with the music he uses, the breath work, obviously, like he knows exactly the bodily response you're having, and he really tailors it in such detail. So it's such a beautiful experience, especially when you've never done it before. When you first have a Breathe with James session, you feel like your life has been changed. Like you have such a shift, and his work has really, really, really been a life changer for us in the last few months. Like we're members of his online studio, and you will see us talk about all the time on the Find Your Feet Instagram, because we always share it, because we're always doing it. And it's been such a big part of our journey. It's really, really touched our hearts and changed so much for us. So we're so excited to bring him on in this workshop and let some of you guys that have never experienced that before experience this in the safe space that we're going to hold for you in this community evening. You know it's going to be high vibe. You're going to be feeling buzzing after. You'll also leave with some new friends, because the Finders always connect after a workshop. Like we've got our big Finders WhatsApp group with like loads of you guys in there, and you're always being so nice to each other, like little besties. And you've all just known each other through like listening to the podcast or coming to a workshop or whatever. Like it's such a nice community evening, as well as obviously all this like new experience and like information and everything that you're going to get as well. So yeah, we took a little break from them because we wanted to think, okay, how can we take these to the next level? What can we do next? So yeah, it'll be if you've come to our webinars before, it will be very, very different to the last ones. So like, you know, this will be new for you as well. And if you've never been, this is an amazing one to start on. It's going to be so incredible, and I'm really, really, really excited by it. And I'm just like so proud that we've got James come in. I everything with this podcast, like the guests we invite on, they're all people that either we do their work, we do their programs, we do their courses, we listen to them, or their work has touched our hearts in some way. Like we only bring people on who really like we believe in
100%.
that level of integrity. And James is somebody that we, as you all know, because you will have heard it us talk about a million times, like is someone who we are like just life-changing, like just love what he does. So excited to bring that to you all.
Yeah, no, I'm so honored to have James joining us. Like literally everything we just spoke about, actually, like in terms of breakthroughs, releasing emotions, that is what we've done in his breath work. Like the amount of times I've cried with Breathe with James is ridiculous. So like if you haven't experienced it before, or you have, like, get ready for tears, get ready to literally leave some baggage at the door and just really embody self-belief. Like, and I love what you said there. That's actually very, very true. Like if embodiment and like this somatic stuff that we're on about is quite new to you, then this is like the perfect place to start, because we're going to give you a taste of a few little things, and then you can go with what you want.
Guide you through it. It's like your introduction to it. And if you already are aware of embodiment, then you're just going to love the evening anyway, because you're just going to get to have so much fun. It's just going to be amazing. So if you want to get your ticket, if you want to join us this special evening, just head to our website, findingyourfeetpodcast.com, and the tickets are on there. We've left a link to them in the show notes, and we are running an early bird discount until the 11th of July. So the first 2 weeks the tickets are on sale, you will get a discount, and then they will go up after that to their full price in the final weeks running up to the event. So if you want to get a ticket at the cheaper price, don't miss out and go and get it now. And if you've got any more questions about it, just come and chat to us on Instagram at Find Your Feet Podcast, and we'll be very happy to answer any queries if you're not sure or anything you want to know. But you know, like, cameras will be off, and you can just sit there and enjoy the experience in complete privacy. Because I go to some workshops online, and that's what I want to do. I don't, and sometimes I'm happy to like maybe unmute myself and say something, because you know there is chance to like chat and stuff, but sometimes I just want to sit back and chill. And where this is like breath work and all these things, sometimes you feel like you want that private space, and you will have that. No one will be making you like breathe, dance on your with your camera on, and do breath work with your camera on. Like, it's all done, you know, just relax and just enjoy the evening, just in the comfort of your own home. And
Yeah.
Enjoy the embodiment.
Come and enjoy it with us. And if you do purchase a ticket, come and let us know and we'll get all excited together, because sometimes we get confused with the names. But yeah, we want to celebrate you and get really excited.
Send
come
us
and
a
let
message,
us know.
share it on your stories.
Tell your friends.
Excited.
It's like a little night out all together.
Invite your friends.
But you leave feeling like really, really good, not hungover.
Yes, you feel energized. The next day you'll wake up and you'll feel so much lighter, especially from the breath work and stuff. Like, you'll feel amazing. So yeah, we're going to wrap the episode up there. Thank you for joining us. Really hope this was of interest to you guys, and can't wait to see some of you at the webinar. It's going to be incredible.
Yes, I cannot wait. Come and follow us on Instagram to see all the prep in the lead up to the webinar and connect with the girls before at Finding Your Feet podcast.
Yeah. Join our community on the gram. And if you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe or follow. I think it's follow now on Apple Podcasts. They've changed it.
Oh.
Follow us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Release episodes twice a week on Wednesday and a Sunday. And we also put them on YouTube as well if you'd like to watch them instead of listen. So just subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link's in the show notes, but our channel name is just Finding Your Feet, the podcast. So you can just type us in and find us. And yeah, that is all. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.